So we did some book shopping. Oh no. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or hey if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a book haul, so don't forget to press that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into the haul. So I was noticing that my TBR was diminishing quite a bit, and every time I went back to my TBR cart, less and less books are on there because I've just been reading like that much. And I, as a person, love to have like a plethora of books to choose from, like just so many. I love being able to go to my TBR cart and pick out what I'm in the mood for. If I'm in the mood for a romance, a fantasy, literary fiction, thriller, I like to have lots of options there for me. I decided we needed to start accumulating some new books. So this has been kind of like a collective book haul from the time frame of like 2 months. I started like buying these books, some of these books like 2 months ago, and then I've just kept adding to the pile since then up until now. So I've got like a fair few books. I think we've just got like, I think we've got like about nearly 20 books, which is kind of a lot. And I've got them from a mixture of places, from like Waterstones, The Works, Vinted, Tesco, Amazon, a lot from there. Yeah, kind of just like a lot of places. If I sell a book on Vinted, then I literally use the money that I've made selling the book to buy another book on Vinted. I've kind of tried to like separate these books in the back into piles, so it's easy to just pick one and then go through a genre at a time. So we'll start with romance, which literally my favourite genre ever. Please, I love it so much. Give me all the romance books, especially in summer. I'm eating up like a silly rom-com right now, just in the sun, in the garden. I'm loving it, so I had to restock. I had to get some more. The first rom-com that I've got is from Amazon. It is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I have heard so many good things about this book. Everyone seems to love it. Everyone seems to rate it very highly. Majority 5-star, and I was like, okay, if there's a rom-com that I have to get my hands on, it's this one, because it just seems so cute and so sweet, and I honestly can't wait to read it. I believe that this is about two people who have an unplanned pregnancy, and it kind of follows their journey from there, from not really knowing each other to having to go through this like life-altering thing, and then like how they are afterwards, how they are during the pregnancy, all that kind of thing. And I've heard that the guy is really, really sweet, and just the love that they have is so cute. So I'm very excited for this. Let's just try to stop myself from saying I'm so excited like 50 million times. This is the new cover as well, because it had like, I don't know if anyone remembers the indie cover, which I really liked, but it got picked up by a publisher. So this is the new cover, which is still really cute, but I do love the indie cover. The next romance book I have is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is her latest release, and I've heard it's also the spiciest book that she has. I loved The Love Hypothesis, rated that 5 stars, and then I've read Love Theoretically, which I rated 4 stars, and Bride, which was like a 3.75 for me. So I do enjoy her books. They're a really fun time. And I've seen kind of mixed opinions about this one, but I have heard a lot of good things, and it does intrigue me. I think it's kind of like about two people who work for the same company, or like the girl works for one company and then the guy's trying to like buy it or something. I'm not really sure. I have seen that the reason it's so spicy and stuff like that is because the characters deal with things through that or something. Like they both have quite traumatic pasts and they struggle to like convey their emotions. I don't really know. But I love the pink in this cover. Literally the spine and everything, like this colour pink is one of my favourite colours ever. Then from Vinted I found this little gem, Love and Other Words by Christina and Lauren. I think they're two authors, don't quote me on that. This book as well, super popular. When I first joined Book Talk, this was all I heard about, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to get to it. This is the new cover, because I think that they're having all of their covers redone. They're kind of like the new versions. I've just seen incredible things about this one. I did read Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, which people were saying is very similar to this one, and I did enjoy that one, so I'm assuming I'm going to enjoy this one too. I think it's friends to lovers, and it's set over like a time frame from like past to present, And also I think is it set like in the summer? Anything with like friends to lovers I do enjoy, especially when it's like showing them growing up together, and then like from growing up and going through all of that together, and then as they are as adults and they find each other again. Like, oh, love that so much, can't wait. And then because I loved Bridgerton so much when it came out, I have been kind of on the hunt to find more Regency romances. So if you have any recommendations, please do let me know, because I just love a bit of Regency romance, like anything set in the past with like the nice like corseted dresses and stuff like that, and they go to like balls together and they have to like court each other, anything like that I will eat up. Like, why is it so romantic and cute? I can't even. I literally am obsessed with Bridgerton, so I need anything that gives me that vibe. And I have heard really great things about Sophie Irwin's writing, so I did originally pick up A Lady's Guide to Scandal in Waterstones, and then I realised when I got home that this is book 2, so I obviously had to order A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting, which is the first one, I think. I don't know if there's going to be like a third one, but these two kind of come together. I'm assuming it's more of like a standalone, interconnected standalone type situation, but I want to read them in order because I feel like I'm going to love them both, so I might as well. But does anyone else think that the covers don't really match? Like, I wouldn't see these two together and think that they're from the same series, so I'm kind of confused. This one is about a lady who wants to find a husband so that she can have money, I think. So she's like not trying to find a husband for love, she's trying to do it for a fortune, I guess. And then this one is about, this one's a love triangle, as you can probably tell, and I think it's like, who's she gonna choose, that type of thing. So I'm very intrigued about these two, and like I said, if you have any Regency Bridgerton-esque romance recommendations, send them my way. Next we have a stack of hardbacks. I feel like I'm just going to go through all the hardbacks now at once. Starting off with A Study in Drowning. I got this one off Vinted as well. Honestly, Vinted, you can find some really great finds, and like, look at that. Wait, wow. That's so simple but so pretty. And yeah, if I find a good find on Vinted, then I'm getting it from there, because this is in perfect condition, and I think it was like £2. I never really spend more than £4 a book on Vinted, which is just so good, such a good price. I feel like this is a common theme, but I don't really know too much about this one, other than the fact that it is like a fantasy, or like a sort of like dark academia fantasy. I think it's also YA. I believe the female main character really likes this one author, and then she needs to like get the funds to keep her through college, the college that she's at. And then the author that she loves is like hosting a contest to redesign his house, and whoever does it best wins, like a fortune, I think. And I think another student is also trying to go against her to get the fortune, and it's kind of set on this like manor on the sea. So I'm feeling like the setting and the scenery is going to be really great in this. Then I was surprised I had to pick up Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is her latest release. It has taken me quite a while to get my hands on, just because I don't really know why. But how nice is the orange? I love it when hardbacks have like a different colour and it's not just like a black hardback. I like it when they do something fun. This one is about two people who were both in serious relationships with other people, and then these two people actually go off and get married, I think. So like, her boyfriend gets married to his girlfriend because they were childhood best friends, something like that. So then these two characters are just basically left on their own, and they're like, oh my gosh, what on earth do we do? And I think that the romance just kind of follows them from there. So that is a very intriguing place to start a romance, I feel like. And Emily Henry's books always have like kind of a women's fiction literary side to them, which I do enjoy. I like it when the romance has kind of something else going on. It's almost like the same as Abby Jimenez, who I love. They always have like a complexity to the story. Then I have another Vinted find. This is The Fort by Ellie Keel. I think this is her debut novel, which is really cool. And it is a thriller. How stunning. I'm not sure if it's... Ooh, that is pretty. Can we see? Oh my gosh, why am I being so awkward about this? So I think this one's giving like dark academia vibes. I believe it is about scholarship pupils, like lots of privilege and power and rich kids. And I think it's kind of like something happens and they do something, and it's about trying to get to the bottom of what they did, who did it, why they did it, that kind of thing. It's like a mystery element, but thriller. I am really getting into my thrillers, so I'm very excited for this one. And another vintage find, we have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This actually says it's a Reese's Book Club pick, which I feel like she picks some really good ones. So I think that this one is about 2 writers who were once together and they split up, but then they kind of, because they're both writers, I think they're still writing about each other, and they're kind of like, can you stop writing about me? And the other is like, stop writing about me. And then I think the romance goes from there. That could be so wrong, but that premise for a romance seems so good, and the fact that they are writers, I just know this is going to be so poetic and beautifully written, and I cannot wait. Next I have a little fantasy stack. I don't have too many fantasies in this haul today, but that's kind of sad. I really would like to get some more fantasies because I do enjoy them, but I just never think to buy more. So the first one I've got is another vintage find, and it is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. This book is basically about, I think it's based on mythology, which is really, really cool. And I believe it's about a girl who is living in a town, and underneath the sea is like a king, a sea god. It says it's a magical feminist retelling of a classic Korean legend. Okay. So it's like based on legend, and I think, yeah, it's about a sea god who finds like he needs to find a bride. I think every year this town that lives above that area of sea sends someone. Okay, so the main female character sacrifices herself to become the sea god's wife, and she's basically now in this spirit realm face to face with the sea god. I think that she has to basically figure out how to stop things going on, or I'm really not sure. I'm like making such a mess of explaining this, but it is based on legend, Korean legend, and it seems really, really interesting. And to say it's so short, I feel like it's going to be very impactful and very just interesting to keep reading. I think this is going to be like a real page turner, and also the cover is probably one of the prettiest covers that I own. How stunning is this? Obsessed. Next fantasy I have is a YA kind of gothic fantasy, and it is Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This is the second book in the, I don't know what the series is called, but the first one is Belladonna, and the third one coming out very soon is Wisteria. I literally last week read Belladonna, so I won't say like what this one's about because obviously it will spoil Belladonna, but this series is very scenic, very like, it would be perfect to read on a dark rainy day. It's giving autumn to me. But just think like a manor running through it in like a flowy dress. I think it's kind of set in like almost Regency time. So if that sounds intriguing to you, then definitely pick it up. And the last fantasy is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I actually got the paperback of this in the airport, saw it, and I had to get it because it just felt like a rite of passage to see the paperback and get it. I am not sure what this one's about, but I know that there's dragons. I know that there is an assassin, a rebellion. I kind of want to go into it almost blind, but I have heard that there is an insane amount of world building in this, and it's very like in depth. I think the glossary is something like, I think it's very long. I think there's like a pronunciation guide. The glossary is like, yeah, look, like this is like the glossary at the end. We've got a lot to learn and a lot to remember. I feel like I'm going to be flicking back and forth between that. But again, the cover is just stunning, and I love any kind of fantasy book with dragons in. Sign me up. Anything that is that. It's got romance in it. I love heavy world building. I love being immersed in a new fantasy world. So I feel like this one's going to be really great, but I feel like I'm going to have to definitely switch on the brain to read it. I've got 2 thrillers here. So I have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This one, I feel like is his most popular thriller. I've never read a thriller by him before, but this one is kind of the one when you hear people talking about this author, they always kind of suggest that this one is the one to go for, and this one is their favourite, so I had to pick it up, and hopefully I enjoy it because I would really like to read more of his thrillers. As you know, I'm getting into my thriller era, so I'm trying to get a few more to read. it is basically like what the title says. A couple go to stay in their house, and across the lake there's someone in the house across from them, like a couple, and they're kind of acting a bit strange, acting a bit weird. It's a bit like creepy vibes, which sounds very interesting. And then I saw this one on, I can't remember whose channel. It was either Rachel Catherine or Georgia or Sophie, the Australian girlies. I saw one of them reading it. I really can't remember who, but yeah, I love the cover and the premise sounds really great. I love how short it is, because this is like the perfect thriller size to me. Because what else can we say? What else do we have to say? This one is about sisters who disappear when they're younger, and then I think they reappear, but they never seemed quite right. And something about that just gives me really eerie vibes, very like creepy vibes. I do also think it's a YA, but they did say in their vlog that even though it is a YA, it's kind of like on the line of, ooh, is that YA? Like, it's pushing the boundary of it, a bit like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I feel like that is the same type of vibe, so I am intrigued. The last little stack of books, we have some literary fiction and a non-fiction, which, if you know me, getting a non-fiction book is crazy because I do not read non-fiction. But I saw Madeline Argy's TikTok or podcast, whatever. It was like a clip of the podcast on TikTok, and she was basically saying that someone recommended her this book, and then I went on like a big deep dive of it, and people say it kind of finds you at the right time, and you can pretty much open it up onto any chapter and you'll find something so insightful and so impactful and meaningful. And I was like sold. I was like, Amazon, sold. The way that it's called Women Who Run with the Wolves as well, love the title. This is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Probably said that so wrong, but I think that she is a psychologist, so that's really interesting as well that it's written by a psychologist. But yeah, I think this book is just filled with so many different topics about women, and it kind of ties in a lot of mythology and folklore, that type of thing. So I'm very excited to give this one a go, because I do not read non-fiction, so hopefully I'll like it and I'll find a lot of insightful things in it. Then I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna right now is all over my For You page. Literally, so many people are reading her books, and everyone says that they are so emotional and so impactful, and they just kind of like, they kind of just make you feel. And I love getting that from a book. So this one is set in France 1940, and it is about a woman during World War II. It's about two sisters who were separated in that time, and it's just about like their journey in France. It says, it's a heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the endurance of women. It is a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. So why do I feel like I'm never going to be able to forget this book? I feel like this is going to live in my mind rent-free for the rest of my life, and I'm so excited. I really want to try some more Kristen Hanna if I like this one. Firefly Lane is one I would really like to try, and The Women, which is I think her latest release. Her books just seem so impactful, which is what I want to dip my toes into, reading books like that, because I feel like it's going to stay with me for a long time. And the last but very not least book in the book haul today is The Fraud by Zadie Smith. This one I got in Waterstones a couple of days ago. I got it at the same time as The Lady's Guide to Scandal, because it was in the buy one get one half price deal, which I love at Waterstones. Like I said, I really want to start reading more impactful books and books that are just going to stay with me and give, not only is it like I'm reading fiction, but I'm also learning as well at the same time. This one is also a historical novel, and it's set in Victorian England. It's based on the real life trial of the Tichborne claimant. I think it is set in multiple POVs, and it's set in different years and across like a different time frame, and I think that you get like a lot in this book because it is obviously a historical novel. And it says truth and fiction, Jamaica and Britain, who gets to tell their story. And I just feel like this one is going to be so interesting and so impactful, and definitely one that I would love to read. I would really like to get into more historical novels. So again, if you have any that you would want to recommend me, definitely please do, because I really would like to read more. I I'm very intrigued by books that combine fiction and history. Oh my gosh, this is just so gonna fall. So this is the book haul. Whoa, the arm strength right now is real. I feel like these are all gonna like crush me. Oh no. Oh no. So we've lost The Nightingale, but this is a book haul. I'm obsessed with books so much. Like, it may seem a lot, but this was collective over a couple of months, and I've obviously sold some books to buy some new ones, that kind of thing. And yeah, I feel like in this haul we have like a lot of variety, lots of different genres. We've got thrillers, romance, fiction, non-fiction, non-fiction, fantasy, YA. We've got historical fiction. We've just got a lot, and I'm so excited to read these books, so excited to vlog some of them, put them into some videos, hopefully. If you've read any of these books, please let me know, because I would love to know your thoughts and feelings about them. I would love to know how you felt when reading them, and if any of these are your favourite books. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!